Good evening, everybody. I want to welcome you here to Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show, a show dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. So we're here today to do an episode of Not What We Hoped For. So I do this every couple of weeks in between my Big Surprises episodes. So every couple of weeks I pick out an album that I think really didn't reach where I wanted it to go. Now, for most of the episodes I've done on here, it's usually the album isn't quite as high up as I thought it would be. In the case of this album, it's a little bit different. So the album I've chosen tonight to do is Wish You Were Here by Pink Floyd. Now, I know before people start getting the hair on the back of their neck up and excited about nothing, basically what this is it's kind of a different scenario than most of what I've done for these type of episodes. It really isn't that the album didn't get to the status that I thought it should deserve. It is that the way in which this album came out played a big impact for me. So I never owned the album until I started this channel, and then it was one of the albums I purchased somewhere along the line. I can't remember exactly when. And I was looking forward to listening to it because I knew that it was a really good album, and everybody always rates it as one of the 2 or 3 best Pink Floyd albums. So I put it on, and then I wasn't really looking at the cover or anything. I put the album on, was listening to it. And when I got to the end, I realized that every single song on this album, every single one, Shine On You Crazy Diamond Part 1 and 2, bookend the album, Welcome to the Machine, Have a Cigar, and Wish You Were Here were all songs that I had heard before many, many times. This whole album gets played on the radio, or at least did in the time period where I listened to the radio. So some of the songs I had taped on collections, taped from this album or that album, and didn't realize that because I didn't own the album, I hadn't really looked it up. I didn't realize that all those songs were on this album. So when I got to the album, the disappointment for me wasn't that these songs were not great or whatever. The disappointment for me, I guess, or the part that didn't achieve what I thought it should, was that I knew all of the songs from many years, so there was nothing new here. That's where it came in. So that's why, for me, this is not quite what I hoped for. I was hoping for something spectacular because the album was so highly rated, but I had known all the songs for years. And they are great. All of them are great, but there was nothing new. That's all it was. It's nothing spectacular. All these songs I knew, liked them all quite a bit. Album is fantastic, but there was nothing new for me to listen to because I had heard them all many times. So that is the reason why this album gets not quite what I hoped for. So a little bit of a different twist than a lot of these shows that I've normally done. Anyways, I hope that you've enjoyed this episode. If you have, please hit the like and subscribe. That's much appreciated. And if you want to leave any comments about Pink Floyd in general, or if you want to leave any comments about them specifically, you can do that. Or if you want to talk about Wish You Were Here and why it's such a great album and why you love it so much, or anything about the album, you can do that too. So I hope to see you all next week for an episode of Big Surprises. We'll be doing another album, something different, of course. It's kind of the reverse of what we do here. So anyways, I hope to see you then. So have yourself a good evening. Take care and goodbye.